afternoon, New Orleans, or wherever you may be. It's Wednesday at 4, so obviously we are the Baldy and The Blonde show.
Yes,
I'm
we
Tom
are.
Coates with the great Michelle Godin.
Thank you, Tommy.
Michelle, I just want to start out the show saying this. If Google Trends is accurate and can be relied upon,
Yes.
I mean this without hyperbole, I think that we have the second biggest story in New Orleans or in Louisiana.
Yep.
The second biggest story of 2025, second only to the terror attack on Bourbon Street on January 1st.
I agree. If it's
If
true,
it's reliable.
as best we can tell, it's true. But
It does. It looks to be.
You know,
They purport it to be.
Yes.
They've never said otherwise.
should we set it up some
And
kind
it's
of way?
related to the terror attack. You go ahead.
Well, as plenty of y'all, I'm sure, have followed the Charlie Kirk investigation and know that there's a thing called Google Trends where you can look up things that are trending on Google. But another option with the Google Trends, and it's trends.google.com, is you can find out past searches, whether or not they were trending. Regardless, it could be a very small search. So with Charlie Kirk, for example, we covered it, and a lot of other people have now covered it too, that there were lots of searches for the hospitals around there, you know, in July before he was killed, and some going back as far as 4 years. Tyler Robinson, the judge that had the case, the new judge, the FBI, everybody who ended up being involved in the case. There were searches from other countries, including Israel, with regard to Charlie Kirk. That sort of became an issue, and that they happened long before he was killed. So Tom has really taken a liking to this investigative technique and has applied it to the New Orleans terrorist attack. And before we get into what he's found, which is really shocking, I'll just remind everybody that we have a very underwatched video on YouTube, which shows the holes in the investigation. Doesn't have anything to do with what we're going to talk about today necessarily. It just shows you that there's a lot of gaps in that story that don't make sense, and that sort of at least raise the question that it doesn't look like he's working alone. But be that as it may, you ready to start, Tom, or did I miss anything?
No, I don't think you missed anything. The video that Michelle referred to, it's only like 2.5 minutes. It was really just an introductory one, and we were going to try to work on a longer, more detailed one, and frankly, we dropped the ball. And just life got in the way. We got too busy.
And we even talked to some reporters to see if they had access to the missing information because, you know, we're running a law firm, not an investigative.
You're right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
things get in the way. We do the best we can.
Yeah, the job, you know.
But,
and you know, so they were interested if we had found out anything else, and we said, well, we were hoping you could use your
you're
tools.
the reporter with with the resources more than we have.
Yeah, because there's just obviously, you know, there's video everywhere in the quarter, and they came up with a couple of grainy videos like they do in all important investigations these days. Seems like we can have perfect videos of, you know, the dog walking down the street.
Oh, sure.
But let there be a killing, and all you're going to get is one grainy video with half his face, right?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, this is some really, really interesting findings showing what searches were being conducted in connection with what turned out to be the terrorist attack in New Orleans, way in advance of the attack.
Okay, so let's jump into it, and I'm going to save the weirdest ones for the end. They're all weird. Let's start with that. They're all very bizarre. It was searched before the New Year's Day attack, but some of them are extra weird.
Yeah,
and we'll save the extra weird ones for the end. And I did this honestly. I did this all in the last 24 hours. Anybody can do this.
Right.
I did this sitting in the Phoenix airport for a few hours, and then on a flight from Phoenix last night on using the airline's Wi-Fi.
I mean,
so the FBI, I think, can do this if I can do it in airports and on airplanes.
Of course, and they have you know, AI.
They just don't want to do it.
Yeah, or they have it and they're just not releasing it.
So the first obvious search is to search for the terrorist's name. I'm not even sure I'm saying it right. I've never heard it pronounced because I don't watch the news, but I believe it's Shamsuddin Jabbar. Okay.
After Jabbar, but Shamsud, SHAMSUD-DIN, Jabbar, JABBAR.
Okay, so I searched his name and I put everything in quotes.
Right.
I've learned that that's the best way to do the Google Trends. I searched his name, followed by New Orleans. So I did Shamsuddin Jabbar, New Orleans. That search was conducted from, in the weeks leading up to this event, from Afghanistan, Iran, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, and somewhere in the United States, but I wasn't able to pinpoint where.
Right.
And those were all done, some in December, some in September, but leading up to it. The next obvious one was I put in the same search term, the guy's name, followed by New Orleans, and then I put in rental truck.
I mean, that's
right?
Crazy, yeah.
And
Shamsuddin Jabbar, New Orleans rental truck.
that was searched in from Afghanistan, Egypt, Iran, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, and Washington, D.C. in the weeks and maybe a couple months leading up to the event. That's extremely weird. People, it's going to get a lot
I mean,
weirder.
it's bizarre because, and then I, just to kind of test it, I ran, I asked AI, Poe, I think was the one, I was using Poe. And I said, just to be specific, does the fact that this shows up as trending mean that at least one search of those exact words in the exact order was done from these places? And it said yes.
All right. The next search I did was the guy's name, followed by the words French Quarter. That was searched from Egypt, Iran, Israel, United Arab Emirates on many, many occasions.
Yeah, let's.
United Kingdom and Washington, D.C. Why would anybody be searching for the guy's name and the words French Quarter? But it happened from all those countries in the Middle East.
And just on any one of
DC.
these, on this one, for example, let's just show the range of dates, okay? So Shamsuddin Jabbar, French Quarter, that specific search was done on, I'm going to give you a couple of dates, July 6th from Egypt. What? We know that he had planned this for a while and had gone to, let's see, he was in Egypt in the summer of 23. So who knows? He was in there, according to the reports, June.
Are you really convinced he planned it? I'm not.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think he's the patsy like
Yeah,
always.
I'm not convinced he planned it.
I think he's another messed up war vet that, who knows what they told him he was doing.
Right.
Plenty of times with these patsies, they tell them this is, what is the word? When they're practicing. What do they call that?
Oh, a drill? What?
A drill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word. They tell them it's a drill. You're going to be a hero afterwards. This is just to point out.
Sure.
Yeah, who knows what they told him. And give them drugs. Who knows? But anyway, so July 6th from Egypt, they're asking Shamsuddin Jabbar, French Quarter. That's a normal search. September and October, Iran. October, Israel. And then really late is December 18th through the 24th from the United Arab Emirates. And that's just a sampling. October 14th, Washington, D.C. Why? Who?
Yep.
There's certainly the FBI can find this out.
If they wanted to.
If they wanted to.
Yeah.
Just like the guy that shot Trump in Butler. They knew his phone was pinging near the FBI headquarters in D.C. Have we heard anything about that? No.
Nope. And
No.
you won't.
No.
All right. Next, I Googled the guy's name, followed by the term December 31.
No, you Google trended it. You ran it through Google Trends.
Yeah, Google Trends. I searched Google searches, essentially. Thank you for correcting me.
Well, I know,
And
you and I know, but yeah.
That was searched from Afghanistan several times, Egypt, Israel, and Washington, D.C. Again, all within the few months leading up to the event.
And just to repeat that, who in the world is why would you put in this guy's exact name
on that date?
And the part of the search is December 31st,
Correct.
conducted in advance of December 31st.
Then I did the same thing, but I put in January 1st. That was searched from Iran, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, and Washington, D.C.
Yep.
Now, it doesn't mean it's limited to these. It's just that I actually pinpointed these countries. I only had so much time, and there's probably others, but I searched these same countries every time.
In other words, the specific search parameters were, just so we can explain to the audience.
Got to be quick.
Yeah. Shamsuddin Jabbar, January 1, right? And then from there you put a time parameter for it to search. And all of the search parameters excluded, obviously, January 1st, 2025, when it happened. So
The search the time period, what I did was I searched the second half of 2025.
Yeah.
So that's not to say
2024.
2024, thank you. That's not to say that in the first half of the year other searches weren't being done. I don't know.
We don't know.
I just stuck with the second half of that year.
So this is Baldy and the Blonde. We'll be back after this to discuss the bizarre Google searches that were done before the New Orleans terrorist attack inexplicably. And we'll be right back after the break. BaldyandTheBlonde.com. Welcome back to Baldy and the Blonde, where today we are exploring the bizarre and really, really weird Google searches for, like, for example, the terrorist who attacked New Orleans way before the attack.
You mean the searches were done way before the attack?
Yes, they were.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, we have to be real careful how we talk here.
Yeah, and so there's a lot to go through. I want to pick up the pace because it gets crazy. So when we left off, we had searched for the terrorist's name and followed by the term December 31st and January 1st.
Right.
Then I went to see, had anybody Googled his name, again, Shamsuddin Jabbar, followed by the words Sugar Bowl. Well, you'd be right if you said yes.
Yeah.
That was done from Israel and the United Kingdom in the summer before the terrorist attack.
Because remember, the Sugar Bowl is January 1st, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Okay, next, that's all I could think of to see if anybody searched for the terrorist name followed by whatever else. I moved on to something else. I thought, if somebody's going to plan this, carry this out, you'd have to figure out parking in the French Quarter. This guy parked on New Year's Eve.
Yep.
A 20-foot truck in the French Quarter.
Good luck
their
with
story.
that.
That's impossible, but okay. So I thought, did anybody Google parking in the French Quarter? That exact phrase, parking in the French Quarter. Yes, from Afghanistan, Egypt, and Israel.
In Afghanistan, August 2nd.
Why are they Googling parking?
Right?
Whatever.
I mean, come on.
Okay, next is, get this, park a truck in the French Quarter. Was that searched? You'd be silly if that was searched. It was searched.
It was searched.
From Afghanistan, Egypt, Iran, and Washington, D.C. Now, again, you can have plenty of reasons to Google that term having nothing to do with the terror attack, but it is a little weird.
It's weird.
Taking all of this in its entirety. How about French Quarter parking? I mean, people in Baton Rouge don't even Google parking in the French Quarter.
They know it's impossible.
You just show up and figure it out.
Take an Uber.
So it's weird that this being done from Afghanistan and Egypt and all that. Next is French Quarter parking. Yes, Afghanistan. Get this: if in Afghanistan, 0 in 2024, but they were conducted at the very end of 2023, almost as if there was another plan going on.
Right.
It was Googled from Afghanistan December 23rd, 2023, December 25th, 2023, also November 10th, 2023, and then not at all in 2024.
I'm thinking lots of Afghanistan people were coming to the Sugar Bowl.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
But French Quarter parking was also Googled at the end of the year from Egypt, Iran, Israel, United Arab Emirates on a few dates, and same from the United Kingdom. Okay, so then I got to thinking that not only did he have to park a 20-foot truck on the streets of the French Quarter, he had to parallel park. I put in a search term thinking there's no way that this is going to be there.
There's no way somebody searched for that.
That's what I thought. I looked to see, did anybody Google Shamsuddin Jabbar parallel parking? And
I mean, that's a pretty specific.
It is pretty goofy.
Shamsuddin Jabbar
parallel parking. I thought there's no way. Well, I was wrong.
Yes, you were.
That was Googled from Afghanistan only a week before the event, from Egypt in October, from the United Arab Emirates in November, the United Kingdom and Washington, D.C. in July. That guy's name and the phrase parallel parking.
Come on.
Okay. Then I moved on to figuring, okay, well, somebody would probably be wanting to figure out where the cameras are in the French Quarter. So I looked to see, did anybody search for the term Bourbon Street camera locations? That's pretty specific. And yes, from Afghanistan and in Egypt in the months leading up to the attack. And then I looked up to see if anybody searched for the term French Quarter camera locations. Yes, from Israel, the United Kingdom, and Washington, D.C. That could totally be innocent. Any of this.
And again, if anybody's joining right now,
Yeah,
we
just
are
go back and
talking
listen.
about, you're going to have to go back, but we're talking about searches relating to the French Quarter terrorist attack, very specific searches on Google before the attack.
Next, I looked to see if anybody searched for New Orleans police cameras. Yes, from Afghanistan, Egypt, Iran, Israel a few times, United Arab Emirates many times. Okay. Now we turn to the really, really bizarre. And it gets
Really?
even more bizarre than what you're about to hear. And this is really bizarre, much more so than what you just heard. Kobe, how much time we have? We still got a few minutes, huh? Okay. So there, I went to look up some witness names because the Charlie Kirk thing, several witnesses actually,
Yeah.
many witnesses from the Charlie Kirk event their names were Googled way before the event.
Right.
I
Like,
thought-
for example, the people that asked him the questions right before he got
Yes,
shot, they
yes.
had been Googled
Yes.
months before.
And you're right, and several other witnesses. Okay, so I looked up only 2 witness names. One of them, and by the way, we're not saying that these people did anything wrong. In fact,
Oh, no, absolutely not.
We believe they absolutely did nothing wrong. It's just strange that they were Googled.
Yes.
And one of them was a sports writer from a small newspaper in Eatonton, Georgia. There's a population of only 6,300 people there. Small paper, but he was here to cover the Sugar Bowl because Georgia was in the Sugar Bowl. So his name was Lance McCurley. So I put in, not just Lance McCurley, I put in Lance McCurley Jabbar. I forgot to put in Jabbar's entire name, and it's more compelling if I did. I forgot to. So my search term was Lance McCurley, New Orleans, Jabbar. That was searched from Egypt, United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, and many times from Washington, D.C., including the day before the event.
Wow.
Most of these were a couple months before. Then I went to see, did anybody search for the full name, Shamsuddin Jabbar Lance McCurley, the poor sports writer's name. You would think there's no way. You'd be wrong. That was searched from Afghanistan in July, and then others, I was not able to pinpoint these, but somebody somewhere in the world searched for Shamsuddin Jabbar Lance McCurley in August, September, and November, a few months before the event.
Wow.
The terrorist name, and then the sports writers. What is that?
And you know what else I'm thinking? I don't know my sports well enough, but we have a sports expert in the house here, our producer. Okay, Kobe, do you know when the Sugar Bowl teams are selected?
Probably, yeah, a few weeks.
So
I
they
think.
probably looked at the leading contenders
exactly
of the
right.
SEC.
Well-
so I bet if we looked at other leading contenders that didn't end up making it, they're going to be in there too.
Okay, well, I'm going down this road. Okay, so then I looked to see, like, how did they find Lance McCurley in the first place? Whoever
Right.
did this. Okay, so I thought, did somebody Google? Well, and I saw that this guy, he wrote for the newspaper is called the Eatonton Messenger. So I went to see, did anybody Google Eatonton Messenger sports reporters?
Oh,
Now, there's only 6,000 people in this town.
Come on.
Nobody's ever heard of this town if you don't live there.
It's a hot topic on
And
Google.
get this, the term Eatonton Messenger sports reporters was Googled from Afghanistan, Egypt, Iran, Israel, United Arab Emirates, and the United Kingdom, and most of those multiple times.
I mean-
a small newspaper that nobody has ever heard of.
No.
And
I mean,
the-
that is Twilight Zone
All right,
crazy.
It is, and
It really is.
it's going to get crazier.
Oh,
So
yeah.
don't miss the second half. Michelle, you want to get us out of here? for
Yes,
this?
I do. We are Baldy and the Blonde. You can follow us on X at Baldy Blonde. BaldyandTheBlonde.com. We post all of our shows. You can listen to them anytime without commercials. And we would appreciate if you'd go watch the video about the terrorists and spread the word, because we are Soros competitors here. BaldyandTheBlonde.com. BaldyandTheBlonde.com.
Welcome back to the Baldy and the Blonde Show. I'm Tom Coates with Michelle Godin. Again, together we are Baldy and the Blonde. We're here every Wednesday at 4. And you can check out our old shows. And this one, by tomorrow, will be an old show. You can check it out at baldyandtheblonde.com. And if you missed the first half of the show, you're definitely, out of all the shows we've ever done, I think this is the one you're going to want to go back and listen to.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable, really.
So when we left off, what I did was I used Google Trends to see if anybody had conducted Google searches for particular phrases that were potentially connected to the Bourbon Street terrorist or the attack itself. When we left off, we were talking about some very strange searches for a sports writer at a tiny little town in Georgia who was here to cover the Sugar Bowl. And somebody was Googling his name in conjunction with the terrorist's name prior to the event. And these are all out of Middle Eastern countries, for example, Afghanistan, Egypt, Iran, Israel, United Arab Emirates, and then also Washington, D.C. and United Kingdom. Now, where we left off was with a sports writer from Georgia. So once I found that, I thought, okay, let's just see the other team, and it was Notre Dame.
Right.
Let's see if anybody from those countries searched for example, I went to see if anybody searched for the term South Bend, Indiana newspapers.
Why South Bend, Tom?
Well, that's where Notre Dame is located.
That's what I thought.
And why newspapers? Because somebody apparently had looked up this poor guy, Lance McCurley, who was the sports writer from the Edenton Messenger. Again, 6,000 people live there, and people in the Middle East are Googling
his name.
Well, first they Googled the newspaper's name, right? And then they Googled sports writers there. Then they Googled his name. So that made me realize, I should also check the other team in the Sugar Bowl,
right.
Notre Dame. Who Googled the term South Bend, Indiana newspapers? Well, a lot of places, from Afghanistan, Egypt, Israel, twice in December, right before the event. Afghanistan was also right before the event. Also out of the United Arab Emirates and Washington, D.C. Now, you could have plenty of reasons to Google South Bend, Indiana newspapers.
Right.
That's not related to this. I get it. Again, taken it in its entirety, it's just another brick in the wall.
You can understand why tribes in Afghanistan would be interested in
right.
South Bend, Indiana newspapers.
Okay, now if you Googled that, the newspaper name would come up, and that's the South Bend Tribune. So I went to see, did anybody Google South Bend Tribune sports writers? Yes, from Afghanistan, Egypt, and Iran.
4 times from Afghanistan.
Yeah, you're right.
Heavy-duty sports fans for the SEC down over there in Afghanistan. Right.
So then I just made up a generic term that somebody might look for, Notre Dame sports writers. There's no such thing really, but it's a term I went to look for, and sure enough, in December, just a few weeks before the event, out of Afghanistan, in October, Egypt, twice from Israel shortly before the event, and a few days before the event out of Washington, D.C.
December 27th, Washington, D.C. Now, you know.
That one wasn't so bizarre, but now it's going to go back to the bizarre.
Weirder.
There's another witness whose name I found. I searched for only 2 witnesses' names, and both were searched for. The first one was a sports writer from Georgia. Another one is a guy, and I don't know anything about him. I don't know where he's from. I think he might be local from here. His name is Jimmy Cothran, Cothran. And I went to see if the term Jimmy Cothran, New Orleans, was Googled before the event. And of course, it couldn't have been, because why would it? It's some local dude. And this is a guy who was in a bar, and he heard the commotion, and he ran out, and he witnessed a horrific aftermath.
Wow. And he happened to be a sports writer?
No. This is just a guy.
Just a guy.
Just a dude. Who's a witness.
Okay.
And so it's impossible that his name was Googled, so I should just skip over that, except one thing. It was. That Jimmy Cothran, New Orleans, was Googled out of Israel, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, and Washington, D.C. Then I put in...
And wait. Just, for context... For example, United Arab Emirates is looking for this poor guy, Jimmy Cothran, in August.
Yes, August 31st.
We're going to have to reach out to Mr. Cothran and see
what
he thinks about this.
But I suppose you could have an innocent reason to Google Jimmy Cothran, New Orleans. So then I thought, okay, let's follow that up with Jimmy Catherine New Orleans Shamsuddin Jabbar, the name of the terrorist.
Sure.
There's no way. That
No way.
had to have come. And you'd be wrong.
Wrong again.
Because there is a way. There's a way that somebody Googled it out of Israel, Iran, and the United Kingdom.
Israel,
Prior to the
August 7th and November 1st.
Yes.
Iran, November 20th. United Kingdom, August 9th.
And then I removed New Orleans, and then I just Googled Jimmy Catherine Shamsuddin Jabbar. There's no way that would come up.
No way.
But it did. From Egypt, twice, just a couple weeks before the event, and in the summer by somebody in the United Arab Emirates.
I mean,
And again,
I'm sure
I
the FBI
limited it to only these like 6 or so countries. There's maybe many others. I had only so much time.
I'm sure that the FBI is all over this, Tom.
Well, they'll be all over me, probably.
Tom, are you feeling suicidal?
Yeah, I am not.
Me either.
Okay. Next is a whole different category. We've moved past the witnesses
Yes.
and parking in the French Quarter and the
Yes.
terrorist's name. Now, the FBI, in their official timeline, they said that after Jabbar parked his truck, he went to the corner of Governor Nichols Street and Royal Street in the French Quarter. I forget how long, but they say that he was there for something like 30 minutes,
Yeah.
a long time. Well, guess what? There's nothing there.
No.
I walked down to that quarter.
Well, you walked the entire route.
I did. I walked the entire route a few times and took
And
a lot
you-
of photos
yeah.
and measurements and videos, that sort of thing, to help me realize that the story's preposterous.
Yeah.
But I did go to that corner. There's nothing there except one store. How do you say it?
It's an iconic
Oh,
New Orleans
Vertimart.
store called Vertimart. Yep.
Okay. So the first thing I did, though, because the FBI said that the guy went and hung out there, and knowing that there's nothing there.
Wait, let me just correct you and say that the FBI did not say he hung out at Vertimart. They
No.
just said he hung out around that area.
They said at that intersection.
Yeah.
At the intersection. So that's why I walked to see what's at
Right,
that
what's
intersection. There only that store's there. Everything else, there's just nothing there except buildings that nothing's open and residences and.
I guess
okay.
apartments.
So yeah, so I Googled the term. I don't mean I Googled the term. I went to see, did somebody Google the term Royal Street, Governor Nichols Street, New Orleans? Now, why would anybody Google that? Well, many searches out of Egypt.
You can imagine why that would be so interesting to Egyptians.
Yeah, well, and I don't have a count on how many, but I just made a note to myself. It was
Many.
It was a lot. Many more than just these other ones
And
we've been talking about.
Don't forget, the FBI says he spent time in Egypt, Mr. Jabbar.
Well, that's right. And
not
then
then,
also,
not during the time of these searches, the year before.
okay, and then somebody also searched that from the UK and Washington, D.C. The Washington, D.C. one was just a few weeks before the event. Then I went to see, did somebody Google Vertimart?
Maybe they wanted a poor boy.
Maybe so. Well, somebody in Afghanistan, Egypt, Israel, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, and Washington, D.C., all in the few weeks leading up to the event. They were Googling not only that intersection, they Googled Vertimart. Then I thought, wow, okay, if they Googled the store, now that, because maybe they went to Google Earth to see what was there at that intersection.
Probably.
I'm totally surmising.
I mean, we have no
I'm
idea.
making that up. But then if they see the sign for Vertimart, because that shows up,
Yeah.
the next logical thing, if you for some reason wanted to have Vertimart as a hangout for your guy or whatever, I'm making that up, but they're the ones who searched it. I'm trying to figure out why they would search it. So I went to see, did anybody Google the term Vertimart owners? Guess what? They did, out of Afghanistan, Iran, and the United Kingdom, again, in the weeks and months leading up to this event. Now that they've Googled the owners, I did that. I found out the name. Do you want me to mention the name, or do you
No.
want to leave the name out?
Leave the name
I'll
out.
leave the name out.
Because
They-
let me just stop here to say, we're not suggesting anything.
Oh, we're suggesting the opposite. They didn't do
untoward.
anything.
It's the opposite. It's just why. Maybe, who knows? We don't know
It sounds
what was
like,
going on.
if I had to guess, it would be somebody wanted to learn something about what's in that area.
Yes.
And then learn about the people related to what's in that area. Who knows why? That you'd have to ask them if you could ever find them. I don't know. I'm suggesting Vertimart is innocent, and owners and employees, everybody's innocent, but somebody wanted to know about them.
Yeah, that's
for
pretty
whatever
strange.
reason they had. So what they did, I went to see, did anybody Google, there's two owners listed that I could find. Did anybody Google the owner's name followed by the word Vertimart? Yes, from Afghanistan, Egypt, and Israel.
Creepy.
Okay, now here's where it gets, well, and then the other owner from Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom several times, Washington, D.C. Okay, where it gets really weird, one of the owners goes by a nickname, a common name, not really a nickname, but everybody thinks it's just that owner's name, but legally has a different name. I learned by looking at the listing on the Secretary of State website, which I use that all the time.
Yeah, we use it in the law business.
And so they have a very unique first name that I've never seen before. And that is their real name, because they have to give their real name to the Secretary of State. And I thought, there is no way that that person's real name, followed by the word New Orleans, was Googled. I was wrong. It was Googled out of Afghanistan, Egypt, and Israel. And I asked 4 people who've lived in New Orleans for many, many decades, have you heard that name? They all said no.
No.
But people in Afghanistan, Egypt, and Israel knew it.
I mean, what in the world are you doing sitting in a cave in Afghanistan, Googling Vertimart and the owners of Vertimart?
By their real first name that nobody
then,
knows, and it's going to get a lot stranger. It's already really strange. It's going to keep getting weirder after this break. And Michelle, would you do the honors? And get us to the
Sure.
next
We
break?
are Baldy and the Blonde here every Wednesday at 4. You can catch all of our old shows, including this one, at baldyandtheblonde.com, where the commercials are eliminated. You can also watch the terrorist video that we did on our YouTube page, Baldy and the Blonde. And we'll be back after the break to finish up with the terrorist attack info. Welcome back to Baldy and the Blonde. I'm Michelle Godin, and we are discussing bizarre Google searches with unique facts of the New Orleans terrorist attack before the attack ever happened. This is a show definitely worth listening to if you're tuning in late. BaldyandtheBlonde.com. You will find it there later tonight. In connection with our discussion, we talked about the fact that that they were looking for some of the locations. People were Googling some of the locations that the terrorist went near or hung out at or near, according to the FBI. And Tom has raised the issue that you can find out a lot about any company that is either an LLC or corporation by going to the Louisiana Secretary of State. So,
You mean website?
yes, I'm sorry, the website, Louisiana Secretary of State, and they have a corporate database, and we use it all the time in the law to find out who are the board of directors, who's this, the agent for service, for lawsuits, etc. But, it's public record. So in connection with that, Tom was able to find out a lot about the Vertimart, which is the little store that is on the corner that was searched, where the terrorist, according to the FBI, spent some time in that area. Everything else looks like apartments, so that's the only thing we could find on anything publicly. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, so I suspect that people who were doing these searches did indeed go to the Louisiana Secretary of State website to learn more about this business, because get this, somebody was Googling the business charter number that's assigned by the Louisiana Secretary of State and appears on the website. They Googled the charter number followed by the words Vertimart. That came out of the United Kingdom and Washington, D.C. and Egypt. They also Googled the address of it.
Of what?
Of Vertimart, which we know it's at that intersection. Nobody knows the address. Well, the address is 1201 Royal Street. And that address, 1201 Royal Street, New Orleans, was Googled out of Afghanistan, Israel, United Arab Emirates, Iran, and Washington, D.C. very shortly before the attack. What is that?
So weird.
And, okay, so now it's going to go even a little weirder. On the Louisiana Secretary of State website for all businesses, you can learn a lot about, as you mentioned, some of the president and the treasurer and different people. But also you can find out what other businesses somebody might be associated with. Well, guess what?
They did it.
whoever was Googling Vertimart also Googled other businesses, which I won't read the names of, associated with the owners of Vertimart who own other businesses. Somebody was Googling those businesses, followed by the words New Orleans. So just in case there's another business with that name, I put in that name of their business, plus the word New Orleans. That was searched out of Afghanistan, Iran, many times out of the United Kingdom. Let's see. And then I put in the other business name plus Vertimart to see if anybody searched both of those together. Afghanistan, Egypt, Israel, Iran, and Washington, D.C.
There is no way
That doesn't make any sense.
that doesn't mean
Okay.
something.
Then, here's what I did. Now, I personally walked to that intersection, again, to see what was there. There's nothing there except Vertimart. Except, there's no signs of any kind on any building except for the one at Vertimart. Except across the street, catty corner across the street, there is a sign on a building that if you go to Google Earth, you could see that on the corner. But it's
Right.
not the name of the business. It's one of those signs that you'll see at some different buildings on Royal that it says Calais Real, because that's Spanish for Royal Street.
Right. And it's from the Spanish, when New Orleans was in the Spanish.
Right. So if
and it's a tile, and it's kind of
Yes.
pretty, and it's set into the wall.
Correct.
And it's blue writing.
Right. Again, it's not like the name of a business.
No,
but
it's just an
if you-
old sign.
But here's where I'm just totally guessing why somebody might be interested in that sign. Because if you're interested in that intersection, and they Googled
Everything they
the name
could.
of the street names, they Googled the address, they Googled Vertimart. They're interested in that intersection for some reason. So I thought, okay, if I was that person, I would go to Google Earth, and I put in, what I did was I went to Google Earth, and I put in the names of the streets. I put in Royal Street, Governor Nichols Street, New Orleans, and then it takes you to 360-degree view of that
Right.
intersection. If you do that, listeners, you'll see, indeed, there's nothing there except Vertimart. But do a 360-degree view, you'll see across the street, catty corner, there is a sign on a building that says Calais Real.
Yeah.
It's not a business name. It's just Calais Real. So I thought, okay, if I'm one of those guys and I'm interested in that intersection, maybe I would think that that's a business name. So I went to see, did anybody Google Calais Real, New Orleans? Now that one's preposterous, but that's how deep I dig. 'Cause if I'm putting myself in the eyes of someone researching it for themselves.
Yeah.
Imagine you've gone to Google Earth, you look at that intersection, you see a sign that says Calais Real. Well, guess what? That was searched all over the place.
Wow.
That was searched out of Afghanistan, Israel many times, the UAE, United Arab Emirates a few times, Iran, and Washington, D.C.
Crazy. I mean, it's crazy.
That's nuts.
These people were very thorough, and I'm sure that if we knew more from the FBI about what they knew he was doing leading up to the attack, we would find that this in-depth search was done all over on everything.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Because of the detail he did on that corner, including Vertimart. These people searching from all over the Middle East, and I presume they would have, and probably did along the way, do more.
Yes.
Well,
I searched for things that I knew of from public record and the FBI's disclosures. We knew that he parked a 20-foot truck in the French Quarter on New Year's Eve, which is impossible. And so I searched for that, and many people searched for that sort of thing.
Yeah, so another thing that I forgot this one, I searched because I just learned how to do it. Shamu.
All the rest was yours truly. Yes.
Shamsuddin Jabbar, Mandeville Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, because he was renting a place on Mandeville, a bed and breakfast, and you would wonder how somebody would know to put all that together. But indeed, Egypt, UK, and Ontario. So
Ontario, Canada?
Yes, and that's weird because he actually made a little trip to Ontario after his trip to Egypt in 2023.
Oh, all right.
So, anyway, this is a once again, like when we raise questions about other things, we don't have the answers. We have no idea. We are not the FBI. But, it's obvious to us that there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I'm not satisfied with the ridiculous non-story we've been
Oh,
told.
yeah, it is a ridiculous story. Now, I do want to say one thing about the website. It is new and improved, baldyandtheblonde.com. You mentioned that this show would be posted tonight. Unfortunately, it won't.
Okay.
Because it's undergoing some changes. Temporarily, we have somebody else handling the upgrades and the new additions.
Okay.
So I need to reach out to them and send them a clip of the show without commercials and let them handle that. So it'll
Okay.
probably be tomorrow.